Hello everyone and welcome back to Star Stable. The Star Stable that you and I know today hasn't always been this way. In some aspects it has completely changed with some features removed, added or updated drastically. So today let's look at 15 things only older players will remember. Or maybe those who are avid Star Stable enjoyers who have watched every single video on the face of YouTube and read every article despite only just starting at 2022. I also have a second one planned, so if you show your love for this one, maybe I will release it. Let's get started with number 1. The beginning of the launcher. If you're an old Star Stable player, then you know how iconic those stable doors were, and although it's sad they are gone, using a desktop launcher allowed Star Stable to grow so much bigger. It was specifically designed to make playing the game easier and more reliable with a better connection between your internet and the game. The launcher was officially brought out in September of 2015 and the barn doors were retired. I remember prior to the final release, I would sometimes have to switch between the launcher and the browser purely because that's just Australian internet. I wonder if they could ever add a similar animation to the launcher. On March 22nd of 2017, Star Stable slipped into the news article the removal of the used to be iconic loading screen cat. Help out with the Fortuna Festival, lovely photo, Fashion Week. Okay, but that's just a whole other thing for nostalgia, right? My beloved raptor in the background. And with a small, teeny tiny little paragraph. A new loading screen. Nothing more than 2 sentences. Not even a final image of our sweet orange cat. For more than 5 years, we've been fortunate to listen to the stable cat's advice whenever we're waiting for the game to load. But this week, we've let our dear old cat retire, and instead we have a new, bright loading screen, which will change with the seasons. Don't get me wrong, the artwork we have now is so incredible. Shout out to the artist, you guys are phenomenal. But almost 6 years later, a lot of us still mourn this little cat. I hope that they are enjoying their retirement. I feel like it might have been fun to have a bit of a memoir to him in the game. Maybe like sitting on a saddle in Steve's farm or something. I remember the day the logo changed, and honestly I do like it for the better. It fits better on the thumbnails and it's super easy to see. The thing that I miss about the old logo is simply when it changed during events. We got a fun Easter logo, Christmas logo, Halloween logo and more. Star Stable changes the profile picture on their social media, but it just doesn't feel the same. I used to make collages at every event in Star Stable and put them up on my wall. In fact, I'm pretty sure I tried to keep those, but my apartment is pretty low on storage space. The box is too difficult for me to get down to rummage around. Sorry guys. Maybe I'll do a reveal of my pre-2015 Star Stable character another day. I feel this is something the team could do even minimalistically. On the website their logo is a white silhouette, but I could imagine a little Santa hat or reindeer ears or something during the winter festival just chilling there. November 30th of 2016 brought a new home stable design into Star Stable. People were super excited about all of this, and you have to admit it was a brilliant change. The old stables didn't have stall doors and you could only have a few horses in your stable. The things I kind of liked about the old stable were the fact that it looks like it fit the exteriors of our home stable. The new one is definitely Doctor Who TARDIS vibes, you know? I also kind of like the entrance area. Anyways, unfortunately 6 years later we are still asking for a lot more customization in the new stable, but hopefully that will happen eventually. As a bonus, prior to April of 2013, you could only have 1 horse in the game. There was no stable. You could access your closet, but you just stood at the door outside and it just appeared. This means the game was out in Sweden for almost 2 years and worldwide for almost 1 year before you could even buy a new horse. Considering how important buying horses is to players in horse games these days, it's really fun to look back at something like this. Change and additions do take time, and I think we are super lucky to have Star Stable where updates come out weekly regardless of whether it's a main quest or just one race. Not many games I feel like have changed as much as Star Stable, I guess. I don't know. similar to the addition of a home stable, Horse Island was released in February of 2014. This means between April 2013 and 2014 you could actually only have 6 horses, including your starter horse. My now 300 horses could not relate. Horse Island meant that players could now have as many horses as they wanted, but it wasn't quite as sweet as what we have now with the pasture. You had to pay to send your horses to the island, which does make sense. It costs 495 Jorvik shillings or 9 star coins to send your horse on a budget holiday, where your horse would get a yellow smiley face. This equated to around half a bar of the carrying system we have now. If you wanted happy horses, you had to pay for the luxury holiday, costing 129 star coins. If this was still happening today, and if 6 horses was still the max horses allowed in your stable, then I would have had to pay almost 38,000 star coins to have 300 horses if I paid for the luxury holiday. Wow. Now this was increased to 10 horses in October 2013, shortly before the introduction of Horse Island. I remember that back in the day, I used to always go to buy a horse, spend forever on a name, just to then click the buy button and have to go home to send a horse away. I never paid for the luxury holiday, to be clear. Sorry horsies, but your girl is on a budget. Horse Island was removed with the introduction of the new stable we know and love today. This one isn't specific to Star Stable, but does anyone remember the massive Amino phase? I think it happened for games all over the internet. This all went down in about 2017, I would say, and Star Stable YouTubers were promoting this stuff left, right, and center. I'm not entirely sure if Amino was actually paying people for sponsorships or something, because people were promoting like their custom links and stuff. Honestly, Amino was kind of cool. I feel like it's kind of what Reddit could be now. It was a great way to connect with the community. Alright, so I'm doing research for this video and it turns out Amino is still a thing. Let's see if I can sign into my old account and see if Amino is still like the Star Stable Amino is up. Okay, hopefully I was like using this account. I don't know what email I would have used. Oh my gosh, it's still here. I was level 7. Did I make any posts? Please tell me I didn't make any posts. I would actually cry. How do I go to my account? Post. Oh gosh, I did make 3 posts. Oh, this is in 2019. I actually joined like voiceover Amino's communities as well to get people to voice over Remembering Champ. And I'm still like, I feel like this is such a cool video. I think it could be so much better if I made it now, because my game isn't laggy, we have like better horses, I have a better microphone and everything. I could probably make it better. Let me know in the comments below if I should remake Remembering Champ. Maybe it's not as good as I thought it was, but like I spent ages on this project. It's kind of cool. So are people still active here? An hour ago? 5 hours ago? Wow, maybe it's just me. Am I the only one that forgot about Amino? Wow. Maybe I am, because people are still posting like almost daily. Ooh. This is literally how I found Star Stable. What is this game? So I guess I didn't really post much on Amino, but I remember going on it a lot back in the day for like all the polls people posted and stuff. I'm not saying we should bring it back. I actually left Amino for pretty important reasons that's not even related to the Star Stable community or anything, don't worry. But every time I think of Amino, it's just kind of nostalgic, you know. I am going to be honest with you, I really missed this one. In July of 2019, the Ferdinand market stopped their travelling and settled down in the area just outside of Fort Pinter. But previously, every 2 weeks, the market would move around to different areas in Jorvik. I think it was like 1 week on and then 1 week off, if I remember, or it was something like that. It was actually first released in March of 2014, so they had a good run. I haven't been able to find out why Star Stable actually stopped their travelling. Maybe it was just because they had too many horses in the end. The travelling market used to have some quests you could do, and I remember making sure that I did them the weeks they were in Fort Pinter, because as a non-star rider for 2 years, I wanted to get all the Jorvik shillings I could get. I don't know why, but something travelling around Jorvik is just so cool to me. What do you think? Would you like to see them travel again, or maybe something else travel around Jorvik once again? This is the most recent change on the list. In May of 2021, Star Stable removed cold tolerance from horses. We removed the cold tolerance attribute from the game. We want all of your horses to explore Dino Valley at full capacity. Now personally, I really miss cold tolerance. I think it made a lot of sense and it was used as a reason to make certain horses more expensive. Not having a cold tolerant horse didn't prevent you from going to Dino Valley, you just had to slow gallop instead of full speed ahead. And I am saying all of this from the perspective of someone who also never remembered their cold tolerant horse. Star Stable did say that in the future, we'd rather incorporate attributes in a fun and beneficial way. So maybe this will all be included in the horse bonding update they are currently working on. We take today's map for granted. I think there are a few things they could possibly change about it, but the icons are a lot better than what we had prior to September of 2018. Instead of a bunch of little blue and yellow dots and the orange smudges on the map, we now have exclamation marks and actual pictures which show what you're looking at, and yellow circles to be more precise in those quests. It's truly a lot better now. I have another controversial opinion here. I don't like this update.
Obviously, in a /J kind of way, I'm super happy that more people get to experience the joys of something that used to be paywalled, basically. But yeah. Around July of 2018, Star Stable updated their jumping system so everyone could jump, even adding in the jumping quest at the start of the game, and making it so that you could jump in major cities like Silverglade and Jarlheim. Once again, I wasn't on Star Rider for 2 years between 2012 and 2014. I know how painful it is to not be able to jump. Maybe I am still a little biased because I feel like I went through 2 years of no jumping, therefore I earned that ability to jump. But I remember being so excited when the free Star Rider codes came out, just because I got to do the jumping quest with Justin at Steve's farm for the first time, and then waiting again for another code just so I could jump again. I don't know, I kind of miss that feeling. What do you think? This was so fascinating for me to research. When I first started playing Star Stable, I didn't understand the championships and would sign up just to ride away before even doing the championship. Anyways, did you know that championships kind of flopped when first released? Let's talk about that. In November of 2012, the first ever championship was added in Moorland. Now don't worry, Star Stable was fully aware of the bugs. Last week we released a new race in Moorland. We did it to test the new multiplayer function and we have found some bugs. At the end of November, Star Stable closed down the championship, stating, "The championship is still under development and is temporarily closed as the team continues to work on making the race as fun and functional as possible." It wasn't until January of 2013 championships made a comeback, and I believe everything went well this time round as new championships were released every couple of months. Did you know that at the very beginning as well, everyone used to be in the same group racing at the same time, as the game was probably a lot smaller back then. Thank gosh, has it changed now? Back in the day, get ready for it. It used to take 3 weeks to train your horse. So maybe the 3 days it takes now isn't quite so bad. Back in 2016, it took about 6 to 7 days, which I remember so clearly taking a week to try and train my horses. I really wasn't that good at it, considering my starter horse only got to level 15 in 2019. Anyways, my maths isn't that good, but in the future, it's probably possible horse training will be able to be done in just 1 day. Unless the reason Star Stable has been giving us less XP in a lot of races is because they don't want that to happen. Anyways, the previous max level used to be 13, and apparently the Jorvik Warmbloods used to get more XP. Level 15 horses were added in February of 2013. It was really hard to actually find the news pages on training, so apologies for not having too much factual information for this one. Some people only buy horses which are max stats, which is okay in today's day and age, but a few years ago, your outfits would have been pretty same. Prior to August of 2018, there was actually only 1 pair of +5 riding pets.
in the whole game. So Star Stable updated a bunch of pairs from +4 to +5, and I would say they are pretty good at giving us loads of racing ready outfits now. Some other examples were, back in the day there was only 2 good saddles, the durable or the ergonomic saddle. Not the best looking today, are they? I specifically remember my racing outfit being in absolute shambles, as there wasn't a lot of options and I was also really broke. I remember when I got the blue beanie. That was a proud moment of mine. Do you remember when you used to use the emotes or actions, whatever they're called, and it used to show up in an orange bubble above your head? These were first added in September of 2014. I couldn't find the news article, so maybe Star Stable secretly slid it out of the way, but they did eventually remove the physical bubble. These emote bubbles used to be pretty annoying for content creators because in videos I would have to crop them out, or try at least. Finding an editing program before I got the Adobe suite in my high school that was free but also included cropping was literally impossible. If you had a small screen, then these bubbles were pretty big as well. I'm super glad that they were removed. You know when you're in Golden Hills Valley, the trailers are red and we have a bunch of pink ones in the Silverglade area, blue ones in the Harvest counties? Well, at first, these weren't just for the vibes, the aesthetics. Before July 25th of 2018, you could only travel from one blue trailer to another, etc, etc. These made traveling from the Harvest counties to the mainland, let's just call it that, was hard. This is why ferries used to be a lot more popular than they are now. Also, as a bonus, remember when the Shires came out and they were all too tall for the trailers? That's actually all the nostalgia I can take for one day, but I actually have quite a few more features that only old players might remember. Did you guys know that this big stable here in Fort Pinter actually used to never exist? That's right. The stable's actually just this one over here. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see more and what features you remember if you're an old player. Liking and subscribing also helps me out and is completely free and lets me actually know that you like this content. If you did like this video though, you might even like the video on the screen right now. I went through 46 Star Stable update ideas from 2015 to today to see how many had actually been implemented and what else we have been waiting for over 7 years for.